Hello, hello, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Lavender Overhang, where I made a pretty major mistake last episode. This is episode 48, and in episode 47 we spent a considerable amount of time doing these zipline stations, and I was under the impression that you could put them like this, with the door to one in the back of the other, and then they would connect and create like a larger station. I was wrong. This is not a mechanic that actually works like this, so we are going to have to replace this. If you haven't seen it already, I do have a short video that shows how this actually works if you want to connect two stations like this, which can be done, just not with the door to one in the back of the other. Okay, so if you want to see that, click the card that's up in the corner of the screen right now, and that will get you to that video. All right, but that does mean that we are going to have to demolish a few of these and do a little bit of jury rigging. We are still going to use a double here. If I do it that way, it stays in the same, so you can do them back to back like this and still have the same kind of effect, but your door has to be available to beavers. And I think since we've got this little space right here that is not going to be used, water is right there, I think we're going to put some food up here. So let's see here, let's do we'll do that. Then we will go ahead and we will add our grilled potatoes, our carrots, and our bread, because those are the ones that we have the most of. We are going to tell them that we want to obtain and then we are going to also put some decoration here while we are at it. Let's do a bush with a beaver statue in between, right like that. Very good, very nice. Okay, so that fixes that one. Let's just get it connected back up to line obstructed. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, all right, so we are gonna have to put it the other way. All right, okay, stand by. Let's undo everything we just did. Guess I should have checked that before I did that. All right, let's see, will it let us put it here and connect to, yes, but do we like that? We'd still be able to do our food option that way. I think we're gonna run with that. All right, so now let's put now let's put the food options back. All right, let's just do it over again. Can't see through my UI. There we go. And then our decorative items. Beaver bust. Nope, not a light. And a couple of those. And let's redo these. Bread. Supply. Carrots. Supply. And hot potatoes. Supply. Or if you're across the pond. Jacket potatoes. All right, now let's get our path back in here. Whoop. All right. We are going to want to pick that stuff up. All right, so that's connected back up. Yippee-ki-yay. I'm thinking we probably want to build a little zipline station here that could connect to this one and send an offshoot that way into the industrial area, which we are going to be working on revamping today. We still don't have this for the underground tank storage. So that's another thing we're working on. But we're going to come down here and we're going to work on getting our industrial into this area here. If that makes sense. And we already know what we need for spacing because we have it set up here with the overhangs here. So we know how many we need between floors. We probably are going to be going a little bit floor by floor. Because we're going to need to put in like overhangs to cover up things. And I almost think I'd rather see those kind of like this on the outside of this area rather than like this where it's on the inside. I'd rather have, I guess it doesn't really matter. Or we could do like this and just put a solid floor in between our things and then we don't have to worry about overhangs, which is probably a better option. Now, we probably should get the game started, eh? All right, we do still need to fix this zipline station because this one, they can't get off here. And we do have a quasi connection there with an intermediate step. So we are going to go ahead and just take that one out, as much as I like that. If we took out the builder's hut that's here, actually we could fit a second one right here, couldn't we? I mean, do we really need it? Kind of, sorta, I think. Because I'd really like to get connected to over there without having to do a roundabout way. So if we put one there, we should be able to connect over into this one. We could create two here back to back without a problem, I think. We need to take out a row of potatoes and extend platforms and stuff like that, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. We will do more optimization of our zip lines once we kind of have our civilization more set. And at this point, we're still working on getting, I want to get this connection in. We're still pretty much setting our where our main like industry and things like that are going. So I'm not too worried about the zip lines at this point because some of them are going to move. We're going to have to create some hubs and do some fun things like that. So let's see here. If we bring ourselves down, we want to come actually all the way down to here, I think. And if we branch off of our storage here, excuse me. We actually can come down some more. It's just that these guys needed in ground. So we didn't come down any further. This is as far down as we can go. So we've got 3 more levels we can come down to start our industrial area. And I'm thinking that we just come right straight around here, I think we can get away with. Let's do a little bit of a test. Yes, it will let us come off of there. So if we come straight around here, how far over do we want to come? I almost think we don't want to like go past there. I would like to come in here and tunnel out a bunch of this for more water storage. I think that would be a really good way to go. And I almost think let's make our lives easier. I know that our path comes through there. 1, 2, 3. Then it comes across here. Right? All right, if we come level with that, I think we should be okay. And let's... We can't see where the catacombs are down here for this bottom level. That's strange. It doesn't show it on the 3rd level that it touches, but it shows it on the other ones. I guess maybe we didn't come down quite far enough. Oops. For that guy. I probably should have paused while we were doing this. All right, so we know that these guys need 3 height. So we've got 1, 2. The gear workshops, the plankers, the centrifuge, the book. I mean, let's see here. Yeah, the centrifuge and the book thing also look like they need 3. All right, so that's 4. These guys here, they need 4. We also are going to need to core out some way to get to our power system, which we could connect like right here. That would be a good way. If we just came straight down from here, we could connect our power system in somewhere in here. Even if it was like under this one, that would require us to take out... Oh no. That would require us to take out some stuff, or we could just come straight down from like this side here. That's probably a better option. Oh, we're missing... One more rounds of... Oh, no, not 2 more rounds. I said 1 more round. Okay. So I think that's a 4. So we'd be able to put our bigger buildings in that level. If we skip a level and then come up to this level. I am going to, let's see here. Let's figure out the power connection, because that's going to be important. That means we're going to need to drop like straight. Where is, does this one line up? It does. All right, but how much space do we actually have here? So we're 15, 16 wide. Most of these are too wide, except for like this guy. He is, but our bigger buildings are all too wide by 3 deep. 1, 2, 3. That's really hard to see because I know the we've got 5. Okay, so that makes it kind of awkward for the bigger buildings, but I think we'd be okay. So like we'd be able to, if we've got power coming down right here, then we would be able to fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and maybe a smaller one here at the back. And then they've got access to the storage. Maybe we want to do a route around both directions here. And we could put something here too. I think as long as we don't touch that guy, we'll be okay with it not oozing. I don't know what the mechanics are on that. I should go and test that. But if we come along the front side too, and then I think we also have a platform here. So if we came along here, right, that should let us get to those buildings. We are going to run into... No, we're not going to run into a problem with floor. We might run into a problem with the floor. Okay, I don't know if this qualifies as a... thing. Shoot, we might need to put in a series of trusses on this back to hold up this corner, if that makes sense. We might need to put in scaffolding like this across this back. So I guess 5 is perfect for that. That'll give us an ability to scaffold without a problem. So we'll figure out that one when that comes to it. We'll do something similar to this. That'll look cool because you'll be able to see. Kind of wanted it completely open, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. If we don't want our whole entire corner of the map to fall down, we probably have to do something like that. All right, so let's see here. What are the beavers working on at the moment? I don't think we have a ton of stuff like slated. Oh, I was futzing around with adding another zipline station over here. Eventually they'll get to that. We've got a lot of things that are going on. What is going on here? We still... Okay, that overhang is built. because that's where the zipline station is going to go for this level. All right, I want to get some work done on this, so I think what we're going to do is I'm going to figure out the different floor levels, and then we are going to time lapse it. So let's quick do the floor levels, and then we'll get going on the rest of it. Okay, so that is as far as we are going to go. We can't go any further without running into the bottom of our water wheels. So this whole level is going to be a 3 level floor. And then we're talking about our power supply running down right here, right along this whole entire stretch. So we need to come in here and also take out those right there so that we can run our power line straight down, which is like a perfect spot for it. Absolutely perfect. I kind of don't like the fact that we're going to end up with exposed platforms right here that if for some reason we would flood our bad water would end up in there. So we might have to come in here and put a couple of impermeable floors, or think about putting some dirt in there or something, so that we don't have that be a problem at a later point. But while we were doing that, they also were working on the floor level that is going to be for the large water tanks. So that's cool. We can start putting in some of those. They are working rather slowly on that, and I'm not quite certain why at times I can hear them and at times I cannot. Even though we're like right here, right next to them, we should be able to hear them imploding those, and I don't hear that. I am going to go ahead and take out the platforms in this section right here. And then we are going to go ahead, whoops, see? Now there we can hear it. I don't quite know what that's about. Yes and yes for those. And we are going to say that once these are built, we're going to do bad water right there. And then let's go ahead and take out the ones on the other side. And I don't think we should have a problem with the overhangs here because ceiling is being held up by these ones here. And then this back here. And you've got 3 each direction. So 1, 2, 3 covers over these. And this path would be covered by this block back here. So I think we should be fine with that. I guess, woo, thank you, game. I think we should be really good with that. We also have the cross member here that's kind of holding up this section. This is where our path is going to come in from across at the water thing. So I think we also could get away with, if we think that we don't need this much in catalyst and all the fun things, then we quite possibly might turn some of these into some more water storage. I don't think we need that, but we've got so much storage here that's still as of yet unfilled. Wheat is like crazy. We've got almost a whole entire warehouse of explosives, which is good. We need it, but it just seems crazy that, you know, we struggled so hard in the beginning and then we have so much to go. I am going to prioritize picking up all of the planks because we are down to very few planks again, which is crazy. All right. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight a couple of sections of this and let's see if we can't get, like if I come down here and we get up this whole section done. The problem is going to be the planks. The planks are going to get us. Scrap metal. How much scrap metal do we have? 2.3k. I'm going to take that down to half workers because they're going through a lot of treated planks, which is taking up a lot of our plank production. So, and I also noticed during the time lapse, yeah, we've got some storage, water storage that's in over here that I don't think ever got marked for. Man, that is a lot of labels all stacked on top of each other. All right, so that's all of those there ones are marked for that. Okay, let's get rid of that because I can't see anything with that. We have so much storage going on here. Look, they've got all the big windmills in. What is our power generation now? 5,000. 5,100 during a drought period. We don't have... Oh wow, that just tanked. But look, those are still running while these ones are stopped. So that it is really important that we get these all switched to the bigger ones because they are still generating power even though we can't. We aren't making as much. I mean, that's still enough to cover what we're currently running. Which, if I remember correctly, is like everything. Okay, so let's go ahead and come down to the bottom here and highlight some of these areas that we're going to do. And I think for right now, that's going to be... No. Did you see that faux pas that almost happened there? Woo! come up one. If I do not two. No, it didn't do the floor below. Good to know. All right. Let's oh. Okay. And let's go ahead and get ourselves a good old-fashioned time lapse going here. All right. So that took a very long time and they're still not quite done, but we're getting there. We're getting there quite quickly. Well, not quickly. But we are getting there. We are in the middle of a bad tide, which hadn't even crossed my mind that is a problem because it no longer is. So we're not worried about that kind of stuff anymore. But if we take a peek, we can see they should be able to reach all of this from here without a problem. And then we'll be able to take that out and start putting in our power shaft. And since they have most of that done, they were hurting for planks. And so we put in these other tanks so that we could get the planks back, and they have picked up most of them. So that is a good thing. All right, so let's see, how are they? I was thinking about during that how we were going to shore up the ceiling over here, and my thought was, why do we need to use platforms and overhangs? Why can't we use terrain blocks? I also was thinking about the fact that we could fit in another section of like the 3 wide ones over here if we're careful. Which we may do, or we may use part of this hallway as like a food area for the workers who are down here on this level to make their life easier. They don't have to go as far for food. But anyways, so back to my thought process on this. Let's come up to the full, so like there's our level. So if we took out this stack of platforms and put in terrain and then used the ability to overhang to put a terrain block here. So if we take out this one and we put a terrain block in there, wait, let's come down one and make sure we're putting that in a way that actually works. Yes, looks like it should. Okay, and then if we take out this stack and we use terrain blocks, actually let's go ahead and change the direction on this one while we're at it. Right, if we do that, we could create some cool kind of like arches along here. And if we've got that, then 1, 2, 3, that would put our next one right here. And then a terrain block. So if we did this one, and a terrain block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 6. Okay, and then we want 1, 2, we need our removal tool. 1, 2, 3. And did that and that. It would save us a lot of material if we could use dirt, because we have tons of dirt. Tons of terrain blocks. Right? All right, our power is coming down right there, so we can't do that. But this has the same kind of thing as that. And then I'm almost thinking we also just come around the corner. Just like that. And that should hold up our whole entire wall section there and make sure that we're not going to lose this one right here. So, but we also need to be able to transmit our power, and it might be easier if this whole back block was a power strip. So that means we need one of these in each of those, which means we're just gonna have to let's take that out. Okay, and then let's put our terrain back on. And then let's go ahead and prioritize this. Oh, hey, I see they're doing the... They are working on the power shaft. Once that's all done, we will be able to put in the power. I'm gonna go ahead and take out those. Right? And take out... Nope, we can't do that quite yet. Okay, we'll leave those alone for the moment. Then when we take out all of these, we'll be able to run a power line straight across there to connect from there. And then we'll be able to branch power off wherever we need it to fit into what we're working with underneath of there. Because I realize that I am silly. These are actually 4 deep, not 5 deep. So we might run into a small problem that we need to run them all a different direction. Oh no! They built the outside ones without building... Oh, well, that was strange. How did they do that? Maybe they did it from down here into the corner? Wow, look at that. And just like that. Woohoo! I think that's... Yeah, that's all of it. All right, so another thing we need to do is come in and make some access ladders. And I think that if we take out this one right here, yeah, it's gonna block us off for a minute, but if we let's go down. We need one more tunnel right here then. Are we smack dab in the middle of this puppy? We are. So if we come up one, we can put a tunnel there. And then we might need to come through here and redo like rejig ladders and stuff like that to make everything line up nicely. But I think that if we just come straight from this point, we can put in a ladder. Boosh. Okay. We can put in a ladder right here with the actual like rungs facing that guy. And that can tie together all of our... We can put our tunnel piece back on there now. That will tie together all of our levels to be able to get from the storage to the work areas. All right, they've got all of that in, so let's go ahead and remove this guy. And let's get our power into there. There we go. I think they should be able to reach that one from here without a problem, or they could, I think, reach it from here. So I think we should be okay on that. We also have planks just laying on the ground over here. Let's get those back. And I'm kind of tempted to take out the... the tunnels under there. I don't know that I like them. Okay, do we have... Too far from district and can't be reached. There are... How is that happening? Right, let's try... down one more. Nope, I want path there. Let's go ahead and high prioritize our ladder stack here. And see if that helps. Okay, that can be reached now. Let's pick those up because we need all the planks we can get here, people. All right, down. Let's make sure all of our paths are connected. And we've got some more down here that we can pick up. Okay, so now that we've got that in there, let's see here. If we take out, make sure we're all shored up, right? Yep. We should be able to go ahead and take out nope, not that. Okay, that worked. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of planks to pick up now. So let's get them to pick up all of those. We don't want to waste any of those. And actually, we still need to take out these. Oh, we're gonna need to take out all of that. Okay, and then we took out our path, so let's put our path back. All right, so that's what we're looking at for a space now. Which I think 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So if we look at our 4 tall, I think that looks really cool, actually. To see that like that, and then if we do that again up here, could we create a similar effect here? Because we don't need all of this stuff, and if we just took out, we can't come down to here, but we could brace this corner right here. So if we take out this one, let's see, do we want to do like a 2? I think we'll just do a 2. And let's put in a terrain block there. Which direction is it facing? That's the problem with the terrain block. It only shows you on the top which direction it's facing, so you can't tell. All right, let's get all of this picked up. And that put us at, well, not even the ones on the ground. We're already at 1,200 planks in storage plus. That's crazy. Okay. Did we not prioritize these guys? No, apparently we didn't. So let's go back to the top and start from the top and prioritize all of that, because it does us no good to get that in if we don't have access to it. And then let's go ahead and run our let's see here. How do we want to do this? We can fit one building in here, or let's come back down to that level. We have those prioritized? Yes. Okay. So we can fit, let's see here. What's our biggest smelter? I can't see through my UI. All right. We can fit a smelter in there. How many smelters do we think we need? Let's do 2. All right, so then we've got treated. And I know I'm leaving spaces. I'm doing that on purpose. What else do we have that is the, explosives. Okay, now we are going to maybe want to come in here just a little bit more so that we could fit in one more building. The only problem is they're not going to be able to reach that. So we're going to have to build a ladder. Right? Let's do it this way. Okay. Then that will allow us to, in between these buildings, put in the shorter buildings. So we can put in a door facing the wrong way. And then we'll put another one there. We're gonna need to put another explosives factory on the next tier. Man, I think that looks kind of cool. If we look at it from the outside of the building, that looks pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and up that. Oh, look, they've almost got the power in already. Okay, what else do we have here that we've got one explosives factory, 2 explosives factories. Yes, 2 explosive factories right now. And that's keeping us fairly well stocked as much as we are using for tunnels. Then we've got a smelter and a wood workshop. So now we'll have 2 of each of those. And I'm thinking we probably do 2, at least 2, oh, hey. Let's not do that one. Let's do a paper mill instead. Because then we'd be able, because it's got that weird funky shape, that is not going to allow us to boosh just like that. Okay, very good, very nice. All right, so let's get them to build that, and then we can think about taking out those particular items up here and seeing what that does for us space-wise. That takes out like this whole entire stack of ugliness up here. I mean, it's not ugly, but it's not, you know, the coolest. So let's go ahead and high prioritize all of that because they've got the power in now. And see what they can get done here. I think we should have all the materials for that. We didn't need this power shaft here, but it's all right. In fact, we didn't need any of those actually. And let's also high prioritize this and this. I can't see it all. All right, and then that'll give us the one more gear workshop. So we currently have, sorry, not gear workshop, planker. We've got 4 here and another here, so we've got 6 total. If we do a similar effect on this floor, then, we will have 6 plankers all together again. I don't think we need that normally, but we are going to be working through the next section of the industrial warehouse, and we're going to need all of that. Oh, they didn't. Oh, because I put that in last. Let's go ahead and fit in our last couple of terrain blocks here. Oh, there's a path there. Okay. Nope, not that way because you're gonna be all... Why does it always turn that one? Like if you look at... And we'll go ahead and prioritize that as well. If you go ahead and you look at what the, I'm wondering, should we do something similar in the middle here too, so that kind of matches? We'll see what it looks like when it's done. We do have that prioritized, right? Yes, yes we do. So if we see, that kind of looks like we've got coolness going on. Do storages conduct power? No, they don't. All right. So as soon as those ones get done, all right, so now we can, that's already paused. We can pause that, and pause that. Let's go ahead and evict all of these supplies that are up here, which I don't think is much. That never even had anything in it, I think. Yeah. All right. So this whole section is freed up now to do something else with. That's very cool. except for explosive factories. We don't have explosive factories right now. So let's keep one running. Drought is approaching. I mean, not that we don't have enough explosives right now, but we have a ton of paper. We also are going to need to put in the printing press. That's another 4, so that'll go on this layer. All right, so I think what we need to do is when we're done with this, getting this all in, we will call this episode for today. There we go. Those are done. So we can go ahead and we can rip out these platforms. Very good. Very nice. Do we need something in there? I don't think we do, because there's only one out from this and we've got this support here. So I think that it's all right. That looks kind of cool. Kind of like it's supporting from that. All of that. So I'm liking the way that looks. We might come back and put in a little bit more, but I don't think we need to. Let's come down here. I think we can take out a few more platforms. We're gonna have to, like I said, come in here at some point and adjust all the ladders so that we have ladders on the facing the correct directions. But I think that looks good. I like it. Now, oops. Hey, they're all done. And they got this section over here done as well. So let's pull out those platforms. Wait, let's go up and make sure that it's all done. Yes, it is. Wait, what happened? I don't know what it took out, but it wasn't what I asked for. Okay, so let's pick up all of this, right? And let's go ahead and put in our last planker for this level. Very good, very nice. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Let's go ahead and get our path extended and high prioritize this one. I think that looks super cool. We did disconnect a path though. Let's put the path back. Okay, and what does this need? The only problem with this is we have no space in this area for the supplies that these individual things need. That's why we need to make sure that they have access to the storage in the warehouse area. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to get their stuff very quickly. I am going to come into each of these, at least one of them, and say prioritize by haulers. And then that means that they will make sure that at least that one is always got their stuff. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. No pausing, no pausing. Okay. Sweet. So we took out 2 up here. We added in 3 down here. So we've got 1 more than what we originally started with here. So I think that's good. But I think that is where we are going to leave this episode for today. It has been very long recording time for this one. So I want to say thank you all for watching. I appreciate you so much for coming and seeing what I'm working on and how the lavender overhang is coming. I think we're getting close to where we might start to think about what we're going to do for the different monuments, because we still don't have 2 of them. So we still need the Fountain of Joy, and then of course the end game Earth Recultivator. We need to start figuring out where those things might go and start gathering supplies for those, because we need, like, the Earth Recultivator is multiple steps before you get to actually shooting that off. And of course that will be like the last episode thing, but we need to start thinking about where that's going to go. And the Fountain of Joy needs to be in water. So that is our hold up here. We've kind of taken all of our water areas and covered them over in order to make more space. So we might need to think about where we can build a water trough for that. That is somewhere, you know, over somewhere in here, for the best benefits. And then we also need to look at where we're going to put that Earth Recultivator. So there's still lots to do. Like I said, I still want to take this area out and put in aquatic farming, which I think that's probably what we'll work on in the next episode. I may very well run this behind the scenes off camera so that we can get all of this taken care of and get all of that in so that we can move on with this space. All right, I hope that's all right if I do that. Go down in the comments and let me know if you'd like me to skip over that so you guys don't have to go through all of this again. And we can move on to something else that is much more fun to watch, like creating the aquatic farming area, or if you'd like to actually see that completed. All right, so I want to say thank you so much for watching this episode. I appreciate you being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.